Thank you, little L, for stepping up, for being brave, and doing the job that grown-up L couldn't do, but it wasn't your job. Hello everyone. I'm so happy about today's vlog because it is just me and you, or me and this camera in this moment. There has been a while since I've been able to just talk without editing and switching the direction of the camera and preparing different scenes and doing it over and over again. It's just me and the camera, one scene. It's gonna be quick and I am happy about it. I am gonna do a version of my Deep Ass Friday, which is something that I started during my 60-day vlog of give me liberty or give me death. And Deep Ass Friday was something that I coined because I found myself being super philosophical on Fridays. You know, that's generally the day of the week where we are happy and we're hanging out, we're having fun, and it's light and airy, and I was just making it deep and heavy. So why not continue that, right? So today I want to talk about representatives. Who is your representative? There are times when we have conversations, and depending upon the nature of the conversation, we send different versions of ourselves to speak up. This kind of resonated with me because I saw a clip earlier this week of Amanda Seales, and she was talking about how when you go to therapy, sometimes they say, go back into your childhood and recall a situation that happened when you were a child. And when you're thinking of that situation, you think back to that 6 or 7 year old girl or boy and how you responded. Think about a 6 or 7 year old now. When they're telling you a story, they take a long time. It's not something that's quick. Their story is not generally straight and to the point. There's several different fragmented pieces and you have to kind of put that thing together. So generally our story may take us 1 to 2 minutes to tell. It may take them 10. And so you find yourself getting frustrated because you're trying to put everything together and they're piecing things the best way they know how in their mind. And that's the example that she gave. And when she said it, I was like, oh, that resonates with me. It resonates with me because I found myself in 2 different places. There's 2 different representatives for me. There's a little girl who was never really, I would say never really freed. She was my protector as a kid. And I think that due to a traumatic situation that happened to me during that age, she was birthed and she stayed stuck at that age. She stayed stuck at the age of the trauma, where grown up other L continued to grow and mature. That other little girl never got to be a little girl, and she stayed that way because she was never nurtured. And so what happens is, when things come up in life that reminds me or feels like that triggered trauma, she comes up and she tries to stand up and be my representative. The not so good part about that is sometimes when she speaks up, it's the time when there's time for big girl talk, meaning there's time when the professional L, the confident L needs to speak up. But because she's so used to responding in times of trauma, she tries to speak for me, and the conversation is very inadequate. It lacks confidence. It lacks the ability to say the words that I'm thinking within. And I think sometimes I rely on that little girl because she's softer, she's sweeter. Grown-up L is not as soft as sweet. She can break men down with her words. And so that I do not cause any hurt or harm to people, I suppress the grown-up side of me and I let this little girl come out and speak on my behalf. And I find myself shrink down to size when that happens. And it's very dangerous because after I have sat back and analyzed the situation, I'm like, wow, that's who came and spoke for me. Thank you, little L, for stepping up, for being brave and doing the job that grown-up L couldn't do, but it wasn't your job. And I think we have to understand that when we are in certain situations, which representative speaks for us. The softer side needs to speak up when there's a time to play, when there's a time to nurture her. Because I feel like, and what I've learned through therapy is, you don't kill the little girl within you, you keep her. You just learn to nurture her, right? Because there was a time when she played a significant purpose in my life. But you also don't beat her down when she does a job that the grown-up part of you couldn't. I think it's very important for us to understand that and the different roles each version of us plays, so that we are able to speak correctly, get the best answer in certain situations, and not beat ourselves down once we analyze situations. So I ask you that today. Who is your representative? How do you nurture that part of you? How do you know which one of you need to speak in certain situations? And are you nurturing both sides of you, or the many sides of you? Some people may have certain different elements of that. So yes, today think about who your representative is. Don't be afraid to use the one that scares you, because it just lets you know that you are in a position and you're at a level where that person has to finally start being the person that they were called to be. And that's what I'm learning now. I can no longer shrink down to size. I can no longer be scared of what the grown-up version of me is gonna say, especially when it comes time to fully advocate for myself. Something that I've been learning to do, or trying to learn to do for years. So yes, that's what I have for you today. Deep Ass Friday. Have a wonderful day.